My name is Tim McNiff with Green Science Solutions. It's my pleasure today to introduce you to Steve Hengsperger, the founder of Tersano Incorporated, manufacturers of cutting-edge technology designed to reduce the need for toxic chemicals inside the home and business. Now, with the advent of the coronavirus pandemic, Tersano's patented technology is increasingly in demand as people worldwide try to figure out a better way to clean and sanitize. And with that, Steve, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Tim, and hello, everybody.
Yeah, we have talked, just full disclosure, Steve and I have talked on the phone a couple times, and we have exchanged plenty of emails, but this is the first time I've ever had an opportunity to sit down and speak with you, so thank you. And what I'd like to say, full disclosure, Green Science Solutions, we are a proud distributor of Tersano's products. That said, as I said, I've been waiting for this opportunity to speak with you because I have a lot of questions. So you're a brave man, Steve. And what I'd like to do is start with sort of where it all began. If you could give us a brief kind of biographical timeline that skims the surface of kind of where you started, where we are today, and then I think we can come back and revisit some of the high points.
Yeah, I know we get this a lot because everyone thinks we're this new company, but we've actually been around a long time. We started out in the early 2000s working on water purification technology using ozone. And ozone has been around for over 100 years, used for water treatment, wastewater treatment, hot tubs, pools, you name it. It's in a lot of applications. So we're working on a home purifying system, water purifying system. And then in that 2002, 2003, 2004 timeframe, the EPA, FDA, USDA all came out with their statements that you can use ozonated water to sanitize, disinfect produce, meats, surfaces. So we built a quick prototype home sanitizing system. We were looking at the consumer market only at the time. And first show we went to with all the retailers, there was way more interest in this home sanitizing system than our water purifier. Yeah, we launched the first product late 2005, early 2006 with Sharper Image. We all know where they ended up. And in Canada, we're a Canadian company. Up here, we launched exclusive with Canadian Tire. After the first year, we started selling with a lot of other retailers. 2008, one of our bigger customers, again, was Linens and Things that went bankrupt as well. Both those companies hopefully had nothing to do with our product.
You fared better than they have.
Yeah, so we just, in 2008, we said we've had enough of this retail world, and we switched over to the commercial world and just, taking our time, improved the product, working with our customers, learning from what they need, how the product worked, making it better. And that's how we've got to where we are today, focusing on our customers and that in that commercial or B2B world. So.
Well, maybe it's that Canadian modesty, but you sort of glossed over 2006. You were one of Time Magazine's best new technologies.
When we were on that consumer side, we got a lot of nice awards, and that was a big one. 2006 was the year 3 people died of E. coli on spinach. Time Magazine somehow got our product at University of Florida, test our product, and we killed 99.9% of E. coli on spinach in the test they did, so we got a Best Invention Award from them that year. Yeah, and then that in turn led to a whole bunch of other great press. Yeah, so the consumer side, I guess that's the one thing I miss from that side. You get a lot more in the news and a lot more things happening around you to help spread the word on your product, where on the commercial or professional side, it's a little more slower, word of mouth. But that's been good for us, too, to just build this amazing base of clients that we have around the world now. So,
and it's one of those things that I became aware of you because of the pandemic. And somebody brought this to my attention, and I kept looking at it, and I kept saying the same thing over and over again. This can't be real. This can't be real. How? Because I'm never going to claim to be the sharpest knife in the drawer, Steve. But I did work in broadcasting and news for quite some time, and so I try to stay as plugged in as possible. I've never heard of this. You must hear that probably more than you care to.
All the time. I just got off a call with one of our new international distributors saying he's never heard of it in this country, and I'm like, we actually sell a lot in that country too. So, and yet. Because there's, you drive down that highway, I always say to people, and who's a potential customer? And I'm like, everybody needs and uses today chemicals to clean these facilities. So everyone's a potential customer. That's to us, our competition is the chemical industry. We're trying to displace them with a safer choice that works. Yeah, so we get a lot, you said, don't believe it works, right? So we get the magic water. Once I do my sales pitch, right, you get the magic water, Harry Potter water. And ironically, just about a couple of weeks ago, we actually just rolled out with the UK trains, all starting in King's Cross Station, which is where Harry Potter's platform 9 3/4 is. So we really can call ourselves Harry Potter water now.
The magic water is cleaning the trains in England.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So what was there about your background? You said that when you heard about the ozone being allowed to be used in this way, what was there in your background that you were so ready to move on this and create something? Because I've only been familiar with the product for about 2 months, but keep having people say, well, we do this or we use that. And I honestly have not found one thing yet that holds a candle to what you've created with your patented SAO. So what is SAO? And why were you what was in your background, enabled you to make that breakthrough?
Yeah, so SAO stands for Stabilized Aqueous Ozone. And aqueous ozone is what's been around forever. What we developed is a way to extend the life, to keep that ozone in solution for a lot longer, making it more usable. I didn't know anything about ozone when I first started even working on that water purifier, but I got involved to helping design, develop every component. I have another company at the time, too, that's heavily in manufacturing. Actually had the first 3D printer in Canada back in 1997. We do prototype. So building a quick model of something that works is just something in our wheelhouse. But what we also always found, being in manufacturing, you have staff that get injured at home, spraying chemicals, doing this, doing that. And then they come to work and you have to keep all these chemicals in these yellow cabinets, right? And vent them outside and ground them. And that statement came out from the EPA, and we're already working on ozone. I'm kind of like, yeah, why are we okay in our own homes having all these chemicals that our kids are around? And in the workplace, there's such strict rules, right? So I hired the hygienist that does all of our sampling at the factory. I said, can you go to my house? I've got a 3 and a 4-year-old at home at the time. Can you sample what the VOC levels are where we keep our chemicals in our home? And sure enough, they were through the roof, right? And I'm like, okay, and that's how we ended up in that consumer space too, right? Just trying to solve a problem at home. But on that consumer side, the challenge definitely was we're a couple $100 versus $5 for a Windex, right? And we're either, because we're plug-in, we are either next to the toasters or, and we didn't have the budget to advertise it the way it should have. So we made that switch to this professional side, which has been a lot better. And yeah, that's still the challenge. I still, nowadays you can't even buy cigarettes. They're locked up behind at the corner store, right? They're locked behind cabinets. And I always say this is the next tobacco. It's the next asbestos. People, especially now with the use of chemicals through this pandemic, and there were lawsuits before about people getting injured from chemicals. This is the next big problem, is going to be the overuse of all these chemicals and the harm it's doing to people.
Well, when the good folks from Green Science Solutions, and wasn't even called that at the time when they first approached me, they said, we've come across this technology we're distributors of, and we think it's really important that people hear about it. And I said, well, if I can help you, I will. And as I said, as I kept getting into this, I kept saying, this can't be real. But I found myself within a week really being emotionally involved in this, because I'm looking at what the EPA is putting out there saying is recommended, or the CDC is recommended. And I'm saying, well, how is this okay? How are we? And so now I'm coming to you from Minnesota, and you're in Windsor, Ontario, correct? You're in Windsor? Correct. Yep. So we have a governor's task force, and they're very well-intentioned people, and they're all trying to figure out this best plan of how do we go forward. But, in Minnesota and every other state, every business is being required to clean and sanitize. Nobody knows how to clean and sanitize. And you look at the recommended list, and it's just a list of toxic chemicals. So when you bring your technology in front of them, they say, well, you're not on the N list. And we say, well, no, we're not. but we are recognized. The device, the technology, the science is all there. I mean, you've been fighting this for how long? Because 15 years? Because I'm just 2 months into it, but I feel as if I've got to keep going with it because it's very important that we get this message out there.
Yeah, so getting devices recognized differently by the EPA is definitely something we're going to work on going forward. A lot of people don't realize that end list is really just there because nobody can test against the actual SARS-CoV-2. So the EPA is taking this stance where, okay, well, we've registered these other products to kill more difficult products, so we're guessing it should kill SARS-CoV-2. Devices, because we don't have an additive, we can't get a registration. So the registration number is there because you're shipping something theoretically toxic around the country. In our case, we're selling a device, you create it on site. So yeah, we're caught in this limbo land, but we still get regulated and we still can't make any false claims. And we've tried telling or explaining that to people, and that's, so we do have claims. We've tested against the surrogate for SARS, which was all that was available up until I think later this month. We can actually test directly against the virus. And we do kill 99.99% of that in 1 minute. So yeah, theoretically we can make the claim, but we got to still watch exactly. We got to be clear to say we've only tested against the surrogate today. But we get a lot of companies that try to say, oh, but the chemical guys tested against SARS, or they make the claim. It's like, no, they can't. No one has tested against it yet. So
no, there are plenty of people out there who are saying they have.
Yeah, and it's starting to roll out now this month, so you will start seeing it. And then as everyone can test against the actual virus, guess what happens to that end list? It goes away because now it's not needed anymore. You can test against the actual virus, right?
So we've mentioned it, SAO, stabilized aqueous ozone. For people who are watching this for the first time, they're like, okay, what is it? And if I may, in my layman's terms, so basically what you figured out how to do was put electricity, a charge, into ordinary tap water, changes it from H2O to O3, ozone, now in a liquid form. And when it's in that form, if my understanding is, it was very unstable before. People knew that it had this cleaning potential, but it sort of never been harnessed. And you figured out through your technology how to harness it for a given period of time. So instead of going to the store and buying a gallon of product X or Y, somebody literally can go, if they're at the home, they can use your home unit, or if they're at a school, go into the janitor's closet, turn on the cold water, turn on the machine, and dispense cleaning solution, aqueous ozone, as much as they want for whatever job they need to do. And then at the end of the day, or the time period where it's stabilized, it just goes back into tap water, no harm, no foul, as it's being dumped down the drain into the environment. How'd I do?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, and even in simpler layman's terms, sometimes I throw in there that, yeah, you mentioned O3 that we're creating. The air we're breathing is O2. So it's really an extra oxygen atom that we're putting in the water. Hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, it's an extra oxygen atom. Bleach is an oxidizer, a chemical form. So ozone, what we end up creating, this SAO, is actually stronger than bleach, stronger than the hydrogen peroxide, yet it's totally safe. You get this on your skin, in your eyes, drink it by accident, there's absolutely no harm done. So we are truly that only product that I know of, or device in the world that starts with water and oxygen, turns the solution into this powerful cleaner, deodorizer, sanitizer, low-level disinfectant, we can call ourselves now, and then actually reverts back to water and oxygen because those extra oxygen atoms find each other and revert back to oxygen. So in the past, companies like Ecolab, and there's patents out there, they were trying to find ways to extend that half-life of ozone because they start finding each other and it's reverting back within 15 minutes in its natural form. So Ecolab is trying to add chemicals in, finding ways to extend that half-life. Well, we took a different approach. We put the water through our own special formulation cartridge that takes certain minerals out. We don't take everything out, just certain ones. By taking those certain minerals out, our product now works the same everywhere around the world. And then the added benefit is that we take that 15 minutes and we pass green sealed cleaning tests for 6 days. We are able to be above the requirement to be a food grade sanitizer for 24 hours, up to, we say. So yeah, We kind of discovered it by accident because we've always had sensors on our machines. So we'd send brand new machines out to some places and they would say right away, no ozone in the water. We'd switch those units up 4 or 5 times and finally we're scratching our heads going, well, they work fine when they come back to us. Why is it not working there? We realized there's something in the water going in. And so we started sending cartridges that just took certain minerals out and boom, all of a sudden these systems started working fine. They got the green ready light. And I think that's the other big thing with us. Our systems are safe. So OSHA requirements, you name it, UL, electrical. We have the green seal. We're on the NSF list for sanitizers. And they're reliable. There's sensors inside. So you're not getting that green light unless there is ozone in the right concentration coming out of that machine. So
Yeah,
we pride ourselves in that. We've been doing it a long time. So of course we've had a lot of time to improve the technology all the time too, right?
So here we are, we've got the pandemic, and I would imagine business has never been better.
Oh, I don't even know the right word to use. It's, we've leapfrogged probably 5 years ahead in our business plan with sales. It's incredible.
And is recognition coming with it? Not necessarily maybe in awards, but is the word getting out, not just from a business to B2B side, but I mean, is the media finding out about this?
Yeah, in some cases, there's more and more. I'm seeing our product showcased a lot more in news articles and little video snippets on TV in some countries. We are global, so we do get a lot of recognition from different sources. But what we are seeing even more of is clients that we talked to, like say 3 years ago, and just never moved forward, and then calling out of the blue and going, "We need your systems." And in Europe, you get this more than anywhere. A lot of facilities cleaning with water and microfiber cloths, right? And we've always been saying, like, you got to kill germs too. You can't just clean with water in these office buildings or retail stores. Well, those are the ones calling now, going, "Yeah, we need your system." And in some cases, because they use special water, I call it, or what they're using, we're actually saving them money even over water because they're getting so overcharged for these filtration systems that gave them water that theoretically cleaned somehow. But yeah, so it's been an incredible 3 months, long days. I sleep well at night though, because I'm pretty tired by the time I put my laptop down.
And you have to feel pretty good when your head is still at night, knowing that what you've created and what it has the opportunity to do. I mean, I don't need to say that, but I mean, I feel good about it. So I had somebody contact me yesterday. I did a webinar for law enforcement, and they said, "Well, we have schools here and we have some playgrounds. Does anyone ever use it, in those applications?" And I'm like, I can't get the word out there fast enough. So I can't imagine how you guys feel about this, because that there's just been this proliferation of chemicals everywhere as everybody's trying to do the right thing, and you're like over here going, but I have something better.
Yeah, and it's still, people are still thinking about sustainability, which is great. So there's that still added bonus. Typically we save money. Actually, I think always we save money too over chemicals. So, and then just that whole simplicity to our product. One product that replaces so many, right?
Safely.
And safely, yeah. So some of the verticals, some of the clients that are coming out of the woodwork and buying something, like, oh, never even would have thought of that application or that customer, right?
I have so many more questions, but I'm running out of time. I was going to ask you, like, where do you see the greatest growth verticals? But you said on your way in, I haven't found anybody that doesn't need this. I mean, it can be used almost in any application.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, in some countries, certain verticals are stronger than others. Education is definitely huge. Gyms in the US. In Europe, it seems to be hotels. And we're big with all the big contract cleaners. So the 3 biggest contract cleaners in the world, they were exclusive contracts with the 2 biggest chemical companies in the world. And over the last 5 years, we've gotten Tersano on contract with all 3 of them. We've done the same with McDonald's too. McDonald's has always been Diversey or Ecolab Chemical. That's it. Now any McDonald's around the world is Diversey, Ecolab, or Tersano. We're on contract there as well, and we're doing some interesting R&D developments with them for some other applications. So yeah, every vertical, it's Well, the gyms is especially the one, that's one that we always thought was a great vertical, but yeah, now through this pandemic though, is I think when they all realize too that they need to find a better way to protect all their clients, right?
Because it's not just about this pandemic, it's about the big picture. You know, we can't just keep dumping chemicals down the drain and pretend like this is going to be okay, and that people can interact with chemicals and not have negative response. So before we wrap this up, what is the one thing that you would hope that everyone could know about Tersano? If you could just get one thing out there, what do you really hope people know about SAO and Tersano?
The one thing that they should know about SAO Tersano, to trust us. Our goal here is to, we can make claims to a certain level. We are here for the long run. We're going to keep testing. We're going to keep being that tried and true that you can go to and trust that the information that you're getting is the most accurate, that we know the competitors, the competitive technologies, and we're never going to talk down about everybody. We're going to give you a truthful answer on what's the pros and cons of anybody's system.
Well, Steve Hengsperger, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, because we're out of time, and I just had a wonderful time, but I feel like there's so many more questions I still have. So right now, I'm probably going to be hunting you down again.
Yeah, this was great. This is better than when I did Donnie Deutsch. So thank you. This is
I'm taking that and running with it. Right. I won't say anything to him.
Thank you so much for letting me share our story.
No, it's been great. Steve Hengsperger is the founder of Tersano Incorporated in Windsor, Ontario, proud maker of products, cleaning, sanitizing for the home, for the office, and Green Science Solutions. We are proud to be a distributor working with you and look forward to changing the world.